I don't think you're gonna believe who's at the top of most aerially player. In fact, I think before we do the replays, I'll just really quickly show that to you guys right now, because it is ridiculous. I didn't think it was going to be this guy. That's for sure. This is the table for least time spent on the ground, or percentage time spent on the ground. Mosin from Middle East is the least time spent on the ground. KDOP is number 2. KDOP aerials more than any other European or American player, and he's second only to Mosin from Middle East. How crazy is that? Like, to me, that's pretty crazy. I never expected that one. Never expected that one. And Atomic's up there, Justin's up there, no surprise. The entire SRG lineup, Twiz again, VK Salin from Queso, Alpha 54. I don't think any of these are surprises, but KDOP, how on earth does KDOP aerial this much? Yeah, he's crazy. But yeah, going down the list, more EU, Middle East players. Then we've got a whole pile of NA players. But so I've shown there's 3 more actually that I haven't yet shown. The bottom 3. Who do you guys think is the player who aerials the least in EU, NA, and Middle East from the top 4 teams of all these regions? Type in chat right now who you think is the guy who aerials the least. Did somebody say Turbo? So many people are saying Turbo. Guys, can you read? Turbo Pulse is literally right here at number 32. There's 36 players in this list. It can't be Turbo. Yeah, some people are getting it right. A lot of people saying Arsenal when he's actually up here. It's not Arsenal. It is not Taroko, who is here. I just revealed that right now, though. You were fair enough for guessing Taroko. It is actually Rettles. Rettles spends, on average, 61.22% of the game on the ground. He's the most grounded player in RLCSX from all the best teams. It's not Khaled. Khaled's all the way up. Where is he? I feel like I saw him somewhere. Oh yeah, there he is. Khaled's number 10. Yeah, Rettles is the guy who aerials the least, actually. I didn't expect that one either. This one is really surprising to me, so that's pretty cool. But one other thing I want to show you before that is just how stacked the aerial percentage leaderboard is with a certain few players. So let's look at that. This is the top 25 replays for percentage time spent on the ground. I'll do this one faster. So let's see. KDOP, Khaled, KDOP. Remember that if this number is low, it means that you're aerialing more. This is the percentage of the game that you spend on the ground. 48.01%. This means that KDOP spent more than half the game aerialing. KDOP, Khaled, Atomic, Azrael, Mosin, Tox, Atomic again, Ahmad, Atomic again, Mosin, Itachi, Alpha 54, another couple of KDOPs, another couple of KDOPs, another couple of Atomics, another Atomic and another Azrael, another Atomic. I mean, Atomic and KDOP gotta stop jumping. And look at this, 43.63. Atomic was only on the ground for 43.63% of the game. This man was aerialing quite a lot, and then Astral as well, 43, also very close to the most aerial game in a grand final. But yeah, for the other side of the leaderboard, I don't have every single replay or every single game in this spreadsheet because we literally have thousands. There's thousands of games, but it's just so crazy to me that KDOP, I mean, Atomic doesn't surprise me being the guy who's aerialing this much, but KDOP has so many of the games with the most percentage time spent aerialing, which is so surprising. But yeah, I have this replay as well. I have the fastest game played by Ahmad, the slowest game played by Taroko, the most aerial game played by Atomic, and I also have the game that had the least aerials in it, the lowest percentage of aerials, and which is another interesting fact about that game with the least amount of aerials in it, it was from the same series as Atomic's game where he had the most time spent aerialing. Can you guys guess who it was? So one of Atomic's Grand Finals opponents from this season put up the most time on the ground. In the same series, Atomic put up the most time in the air. Yeah, a lot of people getting it right here. It's Rettles. It is Rettles. I've forgotten what the exact number was. And if you click percentage ground, you'll see that in this series, Rettles put up a 67.32% on the ground. This is actually the highest percentage time spent on the ground in all of our RLCSX Grand Finals this year. In the same series, Atomic put up the lowest. I don't know where. I think it was in the other set. This is the bracket reset. This is the 4-3. How do I get to the one before this? I think it's Grand Finals. This maybe? No, not this one. It must be the other one. Bracket reset. Player games. Movement. Percentage ground. There it is. There it is. Just to show you guys I'm not talking nonsense here. There it is. 43.63. Atomic. Envy. Same series after the bracket, or before the bracket reset happened, Rettles put up the most grounded game. Yeah, let's do least aerials. Let's do Rettles. This is the game. This is the player with the least time spent aerialing in all of RLCSX Grand Finals and KSA Nationals combined. Rettles POV. Let's see what the difference looks like. I've not watched this replay. I don't know if it's going to look particularly grounded. Or what's going on there. Oh, what a save. That was disgusting. That was really, really good stuff. To respect that shot and to get goal side on it and chip the ball to safety. Really, really nice. I mean, he's only jumped so far when he absolutely has to block shots and passes. Which split is this? So this is... Oh, there's an aerial. And right back down. No, none of those. Alright, let's get down. What are you doing up there? Get back down. This is the Winter Split Regional 2 Grand Finals, I believe. Yeah, he really ain't jumping a lot, is he? He's not jumping. Still scoring, though. He's not jumping unless he absolutely has to. So interesting to see. And just like Garrett was saying earlier, does speed necessarily mean good? No. It most of the time means better play. Just like aerialing most of the time means better play. If you look at the stats for, time spent aerialing in a bronze game, it's probably going to be none. But I think this one is less clear. Speed is a more clear metric for who wins than who aerials. NA don't aerial as much as EU or Middle East. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think when Space Station don't do it, because they're the least aerial-y team. They're also the slowest team because they dribble a lot. They 50-50 a lot. They do a lot of ticky-tacky passes in defense. But yeah, this is just not a lot of jumping. Very calculated as well. This ain't a slow game though, by the way. This isn't a slow game. I think this is a 1600 game in terms of speed by Rettles. So it's closer to the Ahmad game than the Taroko game that we saw earlier. But yeah, definitely nowhere near Ahmad record speed. Not near Ahmad average speed either. Hey, FY Ali, thanks for the 2-month tier 1. Welcome back, man. FY Ali Fahad 77. Swerve 828, thanks for the 11-month tier 1 as well. Also RT141Z with the 3-month tier 1. Welcome back. And Guam with the 100 bits. Appreciate it, man. So you're saying SSG is the most NA team of all the top NA teams? I am. I'm saying, statistically, not energy. NA is marginally slower than EU at the very, very top level. EU is marginally faster. It's very small. Not a big gap at all. And NA aerials way less. There's a big difference in terms of who aerials more. EU and Middle East both aerial a ton more than NA these days. But for speed, EU and NA are pretty close. They're both fast, but Middle East is way faster. Middle East is by far the fastest. They also do aerial the most, but they're only aerialing a tiny bit more than Europe. So yeah, to summarize, Middle East, fast, lots of aerials. EU, slow, lots of aerials. NA, slow, not a lot of aerials. That's the summary from tonight's stream. And another summary for tonight's stream is Ahmad plays in KSA. If Ahmad single-handedly like moved to Europe or NA, he would make that region the faster of the two regions. Like if you just took Ahmad and switched him for any North American player or any EU player, he would make that region the fastest by himself. I'm not joking. He would actually make it the fastest. That's a great pass though. Look at Arsenal finding Sipical in the middle. So yeah, if people can't be bothered watching the whole stream tonight, can't be bothered looking at all the stats, looking at all the numbers, just tell them that. That's all they need to know. And it was mostly solo plays until Rogue got good. Oh, there was definitely passing though. I think there was definitely passing. I wouldn't say that there's a big difference in terms of passing quantity between EU and NA. They both pass. Both pass a lot. So does Sandrock Gaming from Middle East though. They infield pass a ton. They're very good at it. This is so interesting though, man. Rails really, in this game especially, he just never jumps unless he absolutely has to. It's so cool, right? I mean, for me, this is so cool to see as a caster, because next time I watch Rails, I know what I'm going to be like thinking. I know what I'm going to be looking for. I know, oh, if Rails jumps, something's about to go down. This guy doesn't just jump for no reason. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that before I did this research. I didn't know Rails was the most grounded player. Oh! Would have liked to save that one though. Would have liked to save that. Yeah, so there's more time spent on the ground for bronze players. Wait, did you say, according to Ball Chase, in Season 14, Bronze 2 players spent 67.54% of the time on the ground? I'm pretty sure that's very similar to what Rattles did in this game. I think this is a 67%er from Rattles, which is really funny that Bronze players are doing exactly the same amount of aerialing as Rattles is right now. The only difference is I bet Bronze players are kind of floating a lot more. They're not, you know, going up for an aerial and then straight back onto the ground. They're like, ah! They're just like floating off into the middle of nowhere. So probably less aerials overall. They're all just really, really inefficient, slow ones. Hey, Katrina and Vons, thank you both for the Prime subs. Really appreciate it. We're going to watch one more replay after this one tonight. We're going to watch the most aerial game from Atomic. And then that's going to do it for today's stream. But yeah, I hope you guys have liked the stream today. We're not done after this overtime. We're going to watch one more replay. Watch the game that had the most aerials from Atomic. I'm looking forward to it. It's from the same series as this game that we're currently watching. So we had the most and the least aerials happening in the same series for the entire season. Yeah, I don't think I've, man, this was a ton of stream prep. I spent all day just looking at numbers and seeing like, okay, what's interesting? What else can I do with this data to see like other stuff, other tables? I was at this for a while. But it was worth it. I enjoyed it. Rails has good mechanics. Rails has good mechanics. You know, there's lots of grounded mechanics. You need a lot of mechanics, even without thinking about aerials. Forky's faster than all these players. Don't know if you're faster than Ahmad Forky. I'm not sure about that. I don't think anybody's faster than that guy. I mean, Garrett G was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still here. And he said watching Ahmad play, to him, it looks like watching Rocket League in, it looks like sped up gameplay. Garrett G is, I think he was top 3 NA for speed after First Killer and Atomic. So if the third fastest NA player is saying that Ahmad's play looks sped up, then you know he means it. Hey, HMS Baxter, so thanks so much for the support tonight. I really appreciate it, man. The £6.90. When am I going to start coaching? I don't want to coach. I don't really like coaching. I like doing stuff like this, you know, for no other reason than to do it. If somebody paid me to do this, I would find it really boring. Which is a strange concept, because, you know, if I did exactly what I'd done today, all of this, like, you know, finding numbers and data, if somebody paid me to do it, it would have been boring, probably. But choosing to do it makes it more interesting. Split screen view of both fast and slow. That's true. Hey, HMS Baxter. I thought you said you were done. There's a gift to sub to Riddick as well. Thank you, dude. Not getting paid gives you more creative freedom. Yes, that. You get creative freedom. You don't have deadlines. Like, if I didn't finish this today, no big deal. There's no pressure. I don't know. It just changes the whole dynamic of it as well. If you're just doing it because you can. This headset's a Sennheiser HMDC 27. It's a studio headset. I wouldn't recommend it for like just casual use. Oh, good save by Arsenal there. Bit unlucky for Envy. Yeah, Maxwell, you choose to do it. Yeah, like you said, choose to do it because you want to do it, not because you have to. It's a big difference. But you know, it's not always like that. Sometimes, for some things, the enjoyment stays there, even if you get paid to do it. Sometimes it increases the enjoyment. I just know that stuff like this, like finding information and putting it together like I did today, is not enjoyable for me in that, you know, kind of job context. But stuff like casting, content creation, absolutely is. I love doing that in a work environment. So it's not true of everything. It's just some things. Changes from person to person. That was a great pass, by the way. Great. That was a great game. Rels played really well here. Good game. Didn't aerial a lot. Didn't have to. Really, really interesting stuff. But yeah, I think tonight, NA fans are probably still going to think that NA is faster. I don't think that what I've shown tonight is enough evidence to change that, because I think EU ended up being a little bit faster in a few ways, and I don't think that's going to change people's minds. They're going to find some way to believe that that's false and there's actually more to it than that. But one thing that I think will definitely change for people who've watched this stream is they've got to think that NA aerial less. I think that is so clear based on the info we looked at. Like, every North American series from the Grand Finals had less aerials than every EU series from Grand Finals this season, and every APL KSA Finals. That's pretty crazy to me. I didn't know that. Didn't expect that either. I'd love to see a correlation between time on the ground and boost consumption. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So here we are, the most aerially game. The least time spent on the ground in the entire season from Atomic, who loves to jump. Atomic and K-Dop are the biggest perpetrators. They jump more than anybody else in EU and NA. Which is super interesting. I mean, Atomic's the outlier. He's European, clearly. He belongs in a European team. This man wants to aerial, and everybody on NA is just driving around on the ground. Atomic just wants to soar. He just wants to fly. Look at him. Did he have to jump off for this? Probably not. But he can, so he will. There we go again. Gotta go. Get up in the air. Atomic, you belong in the sky, my friend. Get up there. We smart. No need for aerial. I love that. Hey, there's probably a mountain of NRG fans who've like tuned into my stream for 10 seconds and then realized tonight that this isn't the stream for them. But in the 10 seconds that they're here, they've changed their mind from NA mechanical to NA big brain. We don't need to aerial. And I love that. There will always be a reason to believe that what your region is doing is better, because it's your region, right? You gotta be a fan of the region. So everybody who previously thought that no, NA, we aerial more, we're faster, and EU, yeah, they dribble, but you know, NA is better because we aerial more and we're faster. Then I tell you, well, actually, that's statistically untrue. What a save there by Atomic, by the way. Then they're going to say, well, you know, maybe NA dribble more and they're smarter, and that's why they're the better region. Like, everybody's going to take like whatever their region does and say that's what makes them better. It's fine. It's just really funny to see. You'll see two completely polar opposite arguments coming to the exact same conclusion. Ooh. Man, Atomic's been practicing these pre-jumps, clearly. Imagine flexing your spawn location. Exactly. IRL spawn location. Oh, hold on a second. What was this? We got to take a look at this from Mist. This is a pretty nice shot here. Ooh. What a beauty. What a beauty. Yes, Johnny, admit you're biased too. I can safely say I went into this particular, what do you call it? I guess project, you could call it. I went in completely unbiased. I didn't know who was going to end up being faster. I didn't know who was going to end up being more aerially. I had a sneaking suspicion that some teams, Space Station Gaming for example, would be more grounded. But some things that I found out absolutely surprised me, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't mind being surprised. I don't mind being surprised finding out Retals is the most grounded player. Finding out K-Dop is the most aerially player in Europe. I'm cool with that. I've learned something I didn't already know. That's good. Like, I like that. I don't just go in and look at the numbers and say, no, I don't believe it. So I wouldn't say I'm particularly biased in this conversation. No, I don't think I'm biased at all. Monkey Moon's the lowest player out of the 12 European players we looked at. I believe it. I'm going to watch Monkey Moon's play and with even more interest now and see, okay, how is he so effective despite being the slowest player out of the 12 we looked at today from Europe? That to me is really interesting. And yeah, I didn't, even though I expected Ahmad to be the fastest player, I didn't expect him to blow up every leaderboard like he did. Like, that's crazy. That was ridiculous. Like when I just remember, like, so my thought process when I was doing a lot of the leaderboards today was like, okay, let me do this because this is what people are going to ask for when I show him this other thing. Like, I knew when I show people the fastest game played by Ahmad and the slowest game played by Taroko, people are going to say, oh yeah, you know, you could probably find a game of Taroko being faster than Ahmad. It's very, everybody's variable. Everybody has good games, everybody has fast games, everybody has bad games, everybody has slow games. So I went and checked. I didn't know. I was like, maybe that's true. Maybe there is like lots of games where Taroko's faster than Ahmad. I found out actually that's, nope, not true. Ahmad's slowest game is faster than Taroko's fastest game. So I learned that myself. I didn't know that. I had to go find out, and now I know. Does that mean it's impossible for Taroko to play a game where he's fast, like against Ahmad, and Taroko's faster? No, of course it's possible. It's just statistically unlikely. So yeah, Atomic definitely jumps a lot, but I wouldn't say either of these is good or bad. I think both are absolutely viable. There's probably a few times where Atomic jumped up and used a lot of boost, and I'm thinking he probably didn't have to do that. But you do have to be unpredictable. You can't just drive around on the ground and never go for the pre-jump save, or else teams will never respect your ability to do it. Look at the passing. That was clean. You can't even take those stats 100%. Lots of factors that you can count, such as what other stats are going to change the way... Man, Mist is popping off here. We're going to look at this one from his POV as well. What on earth is this? Woof! Forgot about that one. Off the 50, off the ceiling bounce. Man. Such as number of players up at a time. How does that affect it? In what way does that affect it? In terms of, like, is it good or bad, you mean? Because I guess, yeah, it obviously affects whether it's a good or bad thing. If everybody's up, it's probably bad, but I didn't set out today to find out which is the better region. I just set out to find out who's the fastest region and who aerials the most, because best is very subjective, but fastest and who aerials the most, that's objective. But yeah, man, what a difference. Huge difference there. Clear, massive difference in those games. Like the slowest and the fastest and the least aerials, most aerials. I feel like Rails has never jumped. Rails was never way up there. Hardly way up there. Atomic's just like constantly super high up in the ceiling. So yeah, it makes sense. And this isn't just like Atomic had one game, and this isn't just like Retals had one game where they were super grounded like that. You know, Retals posted the single most grounded game of the entire season. Atomic posted the single least grounded game of the entire season, and they were also top and bottom of the overall standing. So it's really fitting that these two players ended up being the most and the least grounded in terms of singular games. Same thing for Ahmad Taroko. They posted the top and bottom, and they were also statistically on average the fastest and slowest. So it makes sense. It kind of shows people that these aren't statistical anomalies. These aren't just like one-offs. No, this is something that happens regularly when these guys play.